Welcome to ESPN College Football presented by McDonald's. A crisp fall day from our nation's capital, home to the defending MEAC champion Howard University Bison. They look to stampede against a surging South Carolina State team out of Orangeburg, coming in of winners 5 straight. Well, the halfway point through the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference season, the South Carolina State Bulldogs are the big dogs. Coming into today, they have sole possession of first place after knocking off a top 25 ranked FCS team in North Carolina Central. What's up, fam? With the MEAC Hall of Famer, former Howard University and NFL quarterback Jay Walker, I'm Tiffany Green. And look, we have had a front row seat the last few years for the MEAC championship. And when you think about the way Howard is still very much in this hunt, this is a make or break game for them if they want to defend their conference crown.
Absolutely. Desperation time here for Howard University, taking on one of the best teams in HBCU football, South Carolina State. South Carolina State, the one team in conference that still controls their own destiny outright. They continue to win all their games, they'll advance to the Cricket Celebration Bowl. The Bison are going to need some help, but they got to help themselves today by trying to pull off an upset.
Well, Chinnis Berry, first-year head coach for South Carolina State, preaches going 1-0 each week. They've had great success over those last 5 games, and they've been aided by their aerial attack.
Absolutely, playing fantastic football. The win versus North Carolina Central, the biggest during the Chinnis Berry era at South Carolina State. And Caden High is a sensational wide receiver. He's explosive, he's quick, he's fast, he has great hands, and he's got a quarterback that trusts in him. That's why this offense is averaging 282 yards per game in the air.
Well, that is the matchup you want to watch, the Bulldogs passing attack against a top 10 FCS pass defense from Howard.
Absolutely, and Coach Scott has to know if we continue to win out, we'll be in good shape. And the reason that they can win and compete in this game, their secondary is their strength on defense, and they're led by NFL prospect Kenny Gallup, a guy that's all over the field that can hurt you in so many ways, disruptive behind the line of scrimmage, great in pass coverage. He's got to be all over the field today, so this Bison secondary can try and hold a potent South Carolina State offense to just under 147 yards per game.
Well, as the two teams on the field here at Green Stadium, South Carolina State wins the toss. They elected to defer to the second half, so Howard will get the ball first in their white and garnet uniforms. South Carolina State to the left of your screen, Howard in their blue unis. And we are underway here on this wonderful fall day from Washington, D.C. Kicked into the end zone, a touchback, and a first look at this offense for Howard University. But before we do that, a couple of flags come onto the field. Jason Sweisman and this MEAC officials crew will converse regarding the penalty. Howard coming in at 4-5 overall, 1-1 in the MEAC. South Carolina State, big road game for them, looking to remain unblemished in the conference at 2-0 in MEAC play, 6-2 overall.
Personal foul, blindside block. Return team number 44. The foul occurred during the kick. Penalty will be enforced from the previous spot, and we will re-kick.
So a re-kick upcoming after Jay Jones II is the guilty party for the blindside block for Howard. Well, this is a Howard group coming off an impressive 38-0 shutout over Delaware State. And the question coming in would be rather this offense for Howard could move the ball effectively like they did last week and be able to put up as many points. Very difficult to do so against a Chinnis Berry coach team. There's Larry Scott, the head coach for the Howard University Bison. Took over the program in 2020 in the midst of a pandemic. And boy, what he's done, back-to-back MEAC championships, took this team all the way to the Cricket Celebration Bowl last season. So in year 5 on the hilltop. Larry Scott hopeful that his group can return to Atlanta. Work to do here as the ball now moves to the 50-yard line after the penalty. Right there on the Bison logo. And the kick will sail deep out of the end zone. And once more, a touchback and a reintroduction, if you will, to this Howard University offense as we were getting into Jayshon Scroggins, the redshirt sophomore who's still very young in his college football career, will get the start and lead the way for the Bison.
The scouting report on Scroggins, very effective runner. He's got great legs, great mobility. The key is, can he throw the ball well enough to hurt you? Offensively, this Bison offense, they like to run the football. The strength of the team is their running backs. So you talk about Jared Hunter, the running back, Eden James, the running back, and then you throw in Jayshon Scroggins, who's a great runner as well. They're going to have to be able to run the football today.
Very effective in doing so. 172 yards on the ground, but they elect to go through the air first, and the pass complete to Isaiah Williams. Williams was a great pickup in the offseason, a 7-yard completion from Jayshon Scroggins out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
He's got the size that you like to see him improving. He's starting to get his confidence. And Coach Scott said, after starting the first 2 games of the season, was down for the next 3 or 4 games. Now he's just now starting to play his best football of the year. Great performance a week ago versus Delaware State.
Yeah, 304 yards through the air, and he decides to run a big number 11. Aaron Smith was there to greet him quickly, and no gain on the play. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
3rd and manageable. You still have the playbook at your disposal. I mean, you can either run the ball or throw the ball or go with some misdirection here. The key is you can't afford to go 3 and out versus a pass-happy offense on the other sideline.
So here on 3rd and 3 from their own 32-yard line, Scroggins looks over the defense. And off the snap, hands it off, Jared Hunter, and again, nowhere to go, land the boom right there is the defense from South Carolina State. Linebacker Jaden Jones, the will linebacker, with the thump.
Wow, what a pop, and this is how you play that inside linebacker position from the school that produced Harry Carson. Pro Football Hall of Famer Harry Carson be proud of that tackle as he stopped a really good running back in Jared Hunter in his tracks.
So the 3 and out brings on the punting unit for the Bison. Jaden Green standing at his own 23-yard line, or rather 17-yard line, nearly blocked, got it off, and Caden High goes to his knees. Fair caught there, and great starting field position for South Carolina State.
Wow, very fortunate to get that punt off. I thought for sure that was going to be a block punt. Take a look at this. I mean, great sprint right up the middle. You're not supposed to miss that. You can take a chance to wipe out the kicker on that one there. I mean, that close, missed opportunity for a huge play on special teams.
Yeah, Josh Shaw was coming in hot on that one. Eric Phoenix, one of 14 transfers over from Benedict College, Division II program, very successful, coming over with head coach Chinnis Berry. And the handoff to KZ Adams along that left side, and not much room to run. But the way that Eric Phoenix has engineered this offense this season, they're putting up better than 30 points a game. And again, we talked about how effective they've been through the air.
I mean, Phoenix has been phenomenal. His decision-making has been fantastic. You could argue he's the best quarterback in the conference right now. You see the numbers on the season. Very impressed with how he has poise. He knows the offense. He's got a live arm, and he stays in control. And he's a very strong runner. Not going to call him a fast runner, but he's a strong runner that can lower his shoulder and pick up more yards when needed.
Here on 2nd and 13, behind the chains on 2nd down, and Phoenix finds that soft spot, an open man. The receiver is Justin Smith-Brown, and into Bison territory.
We said that Phoenix knows the offense, so he knows that somebody's got to come open on these clearing routes there, and you see Smith-Brown come all the way across the formation. The offensive line gave him enough time. Big play for the Bulldogs.
38-yard reception sets them up in good position to that left side. KZ Adams with no room to run, but inside the 25. And again, the speed that we are expecting to see from the South Carolina State team, a la what we saw last Thursday night against Central.
Yeah, we saw South Carolina State was too fast for North Carolina Central, particularly in the wide receiver versus the secondary. Howard thinks their strength is a secondary. They think they can run with these guys. Not a good start when on the opening pass play, they hit you for an explosive play.
Now on 2nd 11, coming across is Caden high in that middle area of the field, and greeted by a number of blue jerseys. A loss of one there, and Jamel Stewart among the Bison.
Bison trying to set the tone here early. Crucial 3rd down here because I want to see the chess match. We've seen Howard play a lot of man-to-man coverage versus South Carolina State so far in this game. Do you take the time to play zone, or do you stick with your guns and say, you know what, we're going to get up in the face of these wide receivers and try and get pressure on the quarterback? Setting up the zone right now.
On 3rd and a dozen, Eric Phoenix steps up, sees a pocket, and is wrapped up and brought down by Terrence Holland. He's going to be about a yard short of that 1st down marker. And Eric Phoenix is a dual threat option. You saw better than 2,100 yards to the air, but he could also take off with his legs.
Didn't find anything that he liked downfield. Elected to get some positive yardage to maybe put it in the coach's hands if they choose to go for it or not. That's what you risk when you only rush 4. And you don't get to the quarterback. If he finds a crease, he can hurt you with his legs.
Success they've had on 4th down. 9 of 11 tries have been successful. 5th best in FCS. Here, 2 yards to pick up. And Phoenix, a design run the entire play. Bounces on the outside, that extra effort. And he's going to pick up the 1st down. It'll be very close to that marker. I think it's enough for a 1st down.
You should have gotten it. If the first tackler would have made the tackle, they would have been short. But this is what we talked about. Eric Phoenix is a strong runner. Not the fastest, but knows where his pad level should be. Not afraid to mix it up and take on the contact to get the necessary yardage.
Well, he's been effective in that run game when needed. And there they needed his legs to power out 2 yards, able to do so. Red zone opportunity. Now inside the 15. And the RPO, and that's Keyshawn Toney. Keyshawn Toney, who we see has great size and ability, brought down by Robert Jones III.
Similar to last week's game, how will the South Carolina State offensive line do in short yardage situations? Against Central, Central made a number of goal line stands against them. Let's see if they've corrected some of the problems up front. They can run into the end zone.
KZ Adams with the cut it into the end zone. That's a score for the touchdown on the opening drive for South Carolina State. Well, Adams just his 2nd touchdown of the season, and the Bulldogs on the board.
And you see the right guard, big Nick Taste, number 78, winning his matchup for a crease to go behind him in the running lane for KZ Adams. Impressive opening drive here on the road by South Carolina State.
The freshman Kyle Gallegos on to attempt the extra point. It's up and it's through as South Carolina State has a 7-0 advantage in their opening possession of the game. Well, coming up, it was a big week here on the campus of Howard University as a special alum returned home. This past Wednesday.
Well, you hear me say it all the time. That's why you go to Howard. You know, for moments like that. I mean, I remember being a political science major, and you never know who's going to show up at your class, who your guest lecturer is going to be. And it's made all of us Howard alum proud.
Well, here on the return is Isaiah Williams. Williams doing well by his teams. His special teams return. That's 25 yards on that kickoff return. Well, better than 12,000 students here on the Hilltop, founded in 1867. We mentioned Kamala Harris along with Thurgood Marshall, Chadwick Boseman, as some of the notable alumni
here.
Hey,
where's Jay Walker?
Oh, yeah, Skywalker. Hey, you know what? There was a young lady who came on the field and said, "Are you Jay Skywalker?" So you're a legend around these parts as well, but a number of heavy hitters have come through Howard University, a very proud and rich history. Well, second possession for Jayshon Scroggins. He airs it out and has a man open. Nathaniel Clark, the tight end, was in the vicinity, had a chance to catch that ball. Logan Jones may have done just enough to break it up as Clark comes back across the field limping a little.
And this is where you want Clark to get this one. Trying to initiate some contact. Good enough there, but they're going to let him play it out in this situation here. You've got a 6'5" tight end taking on a smaller defensive back. Go up and try and catch that ball at its highest point. Thought that should have been more of a 60-40 ball rather than a 50-50.
The cutbacks there from Jarrett Hunter net him 4 yards as Diego Addison with the tackle.
I think, you know, if you're Howard, you got to make this game physical. You know, South Carolina State showing you on offense they're going to be the finesse. They want to throw the ball. But what do you do against finesse team? You beat them up. And you have to have some long drives where you wear down the defense, and you've got the rushing attack. They've got to establish that they can run the football in this game against this defensive front from South Carolina State.
Your 3rd and 6 upcoming for this Bison offense from their 36-yard line. Scroggins takes the low snap, picks it up, trailing back, and has a man open, and it's complete. That's Casey Hawthorne. Hawthorne, the do-it-all receiver and Mr. Go-To, picks up 14 yards and moves the chains.
Hawthorne's a dude. I mean, he's been a great player ever since he set foot on campus here in Washington, D.C. So athletic, so able to win his one-on-one matchups. They'll use him in a wildcat formation as well. He's a difference maker for Howard.
Hawthorne out of Sebring, Florida. Same birthplace of head coach Larry Scott as the offense looks to the sideline to get the calls. Coach Scott is the offensive play caller. At midfield. Play action across the middle, and that's big number 80 sprinting to the end zone, and Cyrus Wilson is tripped up just before he gets in. Quantre Harry with the touchdown saving tackle.
First down, you think we're going against a very good rushing attack. We're going to try and crowd the line of scrimmage to stop the run. But a good job by Scroggins of pulling the ball out and hitting a receiver in stride, Wilson, for the big play for Howard University.
45 yards puts them now closer and on the doorstep of the end zone. It's a carry up the middle. And not much room to run, but let's see if they can take advantage of the longest pass of the season for the Bison.
Explosive play. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Casey Hawthorne, number 3, line up in the backfield to go wildcat. So for some sort of formation. If I'm the defense for South Carolina State, I'm watching where number 3 is when we break the huddle. 2nd
and goal, and to your point, Jay, there's Hawthorne in the wildcat formation. Hawthorne moving big 88, tight end Montrell Walker to the right to give him a little extra blocking. Tries to get to the outside, but swung down by Jaden Broughton. Broughton with a nice flex tackle for a loss for Broughton. He has been a headache this season along that defensive front for the Bulldogs.
Missed block by number 74, Samuel Xavier Hill. Missed his block right there in an individual effort by Jaden Broughton to absolutely blow up that play in the backfield.
Jaden Broughton, who's been just so dependable, an AFCA All-American in his last institution, and now 3rd and goal here for Howard. Scroggins back in at quarterback, guns it into the end zone, and is caught. That's Isaiah Williams for the touchdown. Boy, he has been such a bright spot this season. Has Williams getting on the same page with Jayshon Scroggins. This is his 2nd TD of the season.
And coach has just raved about how great of an impact transfer he's been to this program. Couldn't say enough good things about him. I think transfer from Central Connecticut State, has been a difference maker, and if he can keep things going in the heart of MEAC play, he can be a difference maker for the Bison.
Dylan West, the senior out of Akron, Ohio, trying to even up the score at 7 apiece. And he is successful in doing so. 7 plays, 68 yards, just over 3.5 minutes. It's the big strike from Jayshon Scroggins to Isaiah Williams. And Bison even it up at 7 apiece.
Is presented by McDonald's.
The deep fryer's going. Got some hot fish for you in case you like it, if that is your choice of food. But around these parts, though, Jay, you were snacking on a little something different.
The mumbo sauce.
Yeah.
You know, I come back to the yard. I got to go to Howard China, get 4 wings of fries, salt, pepper, ketchup, mumbo sauce on everything.
I want a funnel cake right now. Okay, just give me some of that. Maybe she is nibbling on some of those good eats from the food truck. South Carolina State faithful made the trip from Orangeburg. They also brought their band, the Marching 101, in attendance as well here at Green Stadium. Oh, there's the funnel cake. Great work by our camera crew to find a funnel cake. Eat for me. I'm eating.
I say it every week. Like, people don't believe it, but you are way 10 times more greedy than I am. And people don't believe it, but they see it right there. You'll spot some food out.
I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. Fair call by South Carolina State. Chennis Berry saw his group get on the board first. And right now, it's been some excitement early on in this game. Jay, did you anticipate this in the first 9+ minutes that we would see this back and forth?
We knew that South Carolina State was more than capable because their offense is explosive. I thought Howard would run the ball a little bit more, and I think that element of surprise has thrown South Carolina State for a loop defensively. To take away the big play from South Carolina State on the opening pass play, they had to struggle to get the rest of the yardage needed. They had to go forward on 4th down, so maybe this Howard defense matches up a little bit better against South Carolina State than some people might have anticipated.
You see 3 wide receivers bunched to the bottom of your screen. And the first play here on this drive to KZ Adams, no room to run as Derek Brown Jr. stopped him. Tackle for a loss of 1.
And if the Howard defensive line can continue to control their line of scrimmage like they are doing so far, they could have a chance of slowing down this high-powered offense from South Carolina State.
Well, you see their ranks within FCS, the top 30, putting up better than 30 points a game and more than 419 yards per contest. Well, Adams trying to find any room to run. 5 rushes and just 1 yard total, but he also has that all-important touchdown. Derek Brown Jr. once more was in on the stop.
This is where South Carolina State, how they're going to attack you. They want to try and get the ball to 0, Caden high. They'll move him around in formation, try and disguise him.
And high to the bottom of your screen in the slot. Man in motion. Phoenix looking to his left, rolls out to his right, has a man. That's complete to KZ Adams. And Adams, who is forward and good enough for the first down. Terrence Holland finally brings him down, but KZ Adams gets just enough to keep this drive going.
And when he got the ball in open field like that, you knew it was going to be a tough tackle, but should have been tackled short. But a fantastic second effort from KZ Adams, having an early impact in this football game. After scoring a touchdown earlier, comes up with a huge first down reception.
Now fresh set of downs. And Adams, once again, that nice cut through the B gap. And KZ Adams picks up 6 yards on the run. Well, Adams, what a story he is.
See the offensive line there. Once again, big Nick Taste, number 78, winning that battle on the right side.
quick run there again from Adams. But in terms of how he got to South Carolina State, well, Chennis Berry was recruiting him out of high school. He was the first ever South Carolina high school player to rush for more than 3,000 yards, led the nation, in fact, but started his career at Georgia State for a couple of years and then joined Chennis Berry in the South Carolina State program in the offseason.
In today's college football landscape, find a couple plug-in players you can in the portal and try and blend them all together. And they've done a really good job in Orangeburg of putting all these new personalities and players on the field. Bulldogs
have to get to the 45-yard line to move the chains, and the pump fake by Phoenix, and that made Carson Hinton miss. Phoenix still on his feet, but rushed there, or pushed out of bounds there. What an effort there, though, by Eric Phoenix. You saw a soaring Carson Hinton.
Look at the hops on Carson Hinton. I'm mad that he missed the tackle, but he was up there. I mean, he was really up there. The athleticism did a good job by Phoenix of trying to extend the play, but Howard University able to force him to the sideline and bring on a punt.
So first punt of the afternoon for South Carolina State. Dyson Roberts, the senior out of Sumter, South Carolina, boots it away. A good punt as Isaiah Williams trailing all the way back to about his 10 or 11 yard line. And that's where we will see Howard set up their offense to begin when we return. It was the Jawan Howell show. He ran for better than 280 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns as a part of that huge rushing attack for the Bulldogs. They amassed a total of 438 yards on the ground and edged out a victory 27-24 back here in this 2024 edition between South Carolina State and Howard. It's the Bison who have the ball back deep into their own territory. The run by Anthony Reagan Jr. First time we've seen the true freshman out of Cam Terry.
Going back to last year's game, different South Carolina State team. They're not going to run the ball 300 yards. They don't even try to. You know, they used to try to. That was what they were known for, running in between the tackles. But with a new offensive philosophy, Chennis Berry brings to the table, they're a pass-first team.
Speaking of the efficiency of the pass game for Howard, Scroggins 4 of 5, 76 yards and a touchdown in this one. And tailoring to his right, just wisely throws that one out of bounds. Scroggins, though, over 1,000 passing yards on the season, and this was a game that Larry Scott told us, hey, I want to see how this young man progresses, and to really get a gauge of where he is this season. An all-important game with a lot on his shoulders and a big 3rd and 9 coming up.
As we mentioned, played his best game of his career last week versus Delaware State, where threw for 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He can come close to that type of efficiency on a regular basis. This offense becomes multi-dimensional.
Eden James to the right of him in the backfield. Scroggins looking, goes underneath to James, and James, who has that nice burst of speed, brought down by linebacker Aaron Smith. Going to be a few yards short of the first down marker. And the punting unit will trot on. James, the son of Pro Football Hall of Famer Edgerrin James.
Edge. I could never say Edgerrin, so just always Edge. I really think his son is like one of the best out there. You know, underrated. He shares time in the backfield, but talk about a sharp kid on and off the field, but I think he's a dynamic runner as well. Hard to tackle in the open field.
High trailing back after that punt, and it's fair called at the South Carolina State 36-yard line. There's a change of possession. Caden High, the sophomore out of Grayson, Georgia, came through that great Grayson High School program. We had a chance to call one of those Grayson games back in the day, Jay, and they just pump out, you know, talent to college and beyond. But with Caden High as a weapon, how can they find him more frequently in this game?
This is getting started. The offensive coordinators are starting to feel each other out. What is Howard trying to do to take him away? And I guarantee you that Jonathan Williams, the OC, is going to find some ways to get High involved in the offense.
It's Phoenix who's taking off, and Phoenix trots near that first down marker as we come to the close of the opening period. A 9-yard run and a 7-7 ball game in an all-important MEAC showdown. Flying high, both of these teams. It's knotted at 7 apiece here from Washington, D.C. The campus of Howard University here in Washington, D.C. The defending MEAC champions are knotted at 7 apiece with South Carolina State, but obviously a number of games going on today around the HBCU world. And Morgan State able to edge out and beat Delaware State. That was a back and forth affair. So Morgan State remains in the hunt. And then over in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, Alabama State and Grambling State tied at 10. And right now, Prairie View A&M, the SWAC West champions, has a 10-3 advantage over the HBCU national champion, Florida A&M Rattlers.
You're not slick. You waited till the graphic went away before you started talking about that, because the Rattlers are down by 7.
I was going around the horn. That's what I was doing. Thanks. Oh, big hit in the backfield and leveled Tyler Smith. Who was that? Big number 12, Xavier Robio. Well, he's one of the seniors honored before today on Senior Day, and here making his presence felt.
Great job lowering his pad level and just blowing him up. Also, Terrence Holland, the linebacker, number 8, was there to force him outside. Great team defense against the run by Howard University.
So ball placed on the 40-yard line of South Carolina State after that big TFL.
Man-to-man coverage. You see he goes all the way across the formation with them.
And finding his man, that's Enosh Carter. And Carter, another one of those speedy receivers for South Carolina State. Gain of 10, first down Bulldogs.
Troy Douglas is a great defensive coordinator, but if you're going to go man-to-man coverage, you have to bring pressure on the quarterback. Fantastic job adjusting on a pass thrown behind him by Carter. But, you know, going man-to-man is too risky. Guys running crossing routes, that's the right place to go to football, but you have to get to the quarterback.
Well, Jay, as you mentioned earlier, a lot of faith in that secondary. Jet sweep for Caden high and high, full steam ahead. That's Kenny Gallup Jr., the Defensive Player of the Year in the MEAC a season ago. Trying to help bring them down, and the ball popping out late. But I think they're going to say it's South Carolina State football as a number of blue jerseys rallied around the ball carrier.
Taking a look there, you got it secured. There was.
Did it come out?
Off down. I didn't hear it whistle.
Well, if you're South Carolina State, you're going to try to snap this before they have a chance to review it. And DeAndre Duhart right ahead into the thick of it. A pickup of 4.
Really surprised that the officials didn't take a look at that. At least take a look at that. A game of this magnitude, ball on the ground. Unless they got clear interpretation from the officials down there on the field, their forward progress, that they were blowing the whistle and they thought the play was dead.
Well, deuced off sides, and that was 91. Noah Miles jumping before the snap.
Offside. Defense number 91 enters the neutral zone, calls the offense to react. It's a 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Miles, the junior out of Tampa, Florida. Hillsborough High School.
Be careful here. 2nd and 1. They're going to take a deep shot. Man-to-man coverage on the outside. 2nd and 1. I would be surprised.
And it's Phoenix who calls his own number. Design run the entire time. Kenny Gallup Jr. tried to get to him before the sticks, but it's going to be good for a first down. Eric Phoenix, who has that ability and the trust that's been developed between Coach Chinnisberry and Eric Phoenix.
What's that trend? We've seen a couple South Carolina State folks where they put the mouthpiece in the helmet and then they have another mouthpiece on, so we know that Caden Hyde does it. Now the quarterback, Eric Phoenix, doing as well.
Good observation there as DeAndre Duhart observing. He had some space up the middle. And a strong run, 6-yard pickup for DeAndre Duhart. Right now, South Carolina State moving the ball down the field effectively. We saw them have a great time of possession against North Carolina Central last week, owning the ball for more than 41 minutes, and here trying to put together a sustained drive as an injured player on the field. That's Duhart, who was the ball carrier, who was getting attention on the field from the athletic training team. And he's able to get up under his own power and get assistance back to the sideline. When you talk about this new look South Carolina State team, some key pieces that carried over from that 2021 Celebration Bowl championship, but also a lot of new faces. DeAndre Duhart among them, along with Eric Phoenix and others. And they've been able to find a great recipe for success, going 6-2 this season, as Phoenix just slides. And again, another savvy run from Phoenix. Kenny Gallup Jr. once more on the stop, and maybe a yard short, so it's going to bring up 3rd and 1.
You talked about the new pieces that came over. 7 players from Benedict start for South Carolina State on defense. Offensively, Phoenix went to Benedict, the quarterback, Duhart, the running back, Caden High, most explosive receiver. Benedict transfers, playing up a level, but making an impact on this game.
Total of 14 overall, and here on 3rd and 1, they're 50% converting, and the big run ahead from Josh Shaw, and he goes backwards. Initial first burst and then pushed backwards by the Howard Bison defense.
Don't celebrate too much, because if it's still 1 yard, Chennis Berry's shown he will go for it again. He believes in touchdowns, not field goals. So don't waste all your energy saying, oh, we stopped him. Well, you're going to have to stop him again if history plays out the way Chennis Berry normally likes to call a game.
Well, to your point, as the celebration was coming from Howard, felt like the ball carrier lost the football. Instead, 4th and 1. Chennis Berry went for it already today. Was successful on that try. Here on 4th and 1. And they call number 7's number, and he picks it up. And the ball is coming loose as Howard once again showing that they have come up with it. It's going to be tough to see. We'll see.
I think that's a fumble. They at least have to look at one of these. The previous 2 plays, we've seen the ball on the ground.
And it is indeed Howard football as they come up with a big defensive stop, forcing the turnover here on 4th and 1.
After getting the necessary yardage needed for first down, Phoenix gets turned around. Ball comes out. Great job by the Howard defense forcing the turnover.
And you can credit All-American Kenny Gallup Jr., the safety, who helped to jar that ball loose. Terrence Holland with the recovery. And the Howard Bison coming up with a huge defensive stop as South Carolina State was starting to gain some momentum, so they try to shift Big Mo back in their direction. It's Howard football when we return. And he is the reason why Howard has the ball back. He was able to strip the ball loose from Eric Phoenix. You're going to see it as Phoenix twists right here. He helps to break the ball loose, and then Terrence Holland comes up with it.
What I've noticed on the quarterback sweeps, Kenny Gallup is assigned to go chase down the running back. So Phoenix was able to get outside once or twice, but the 3rd time, Gallup made him pay for it with a big turnover.
The pitch to Eden James, or rather, Eden James said, I don't have anywhere to go because Quantrell Harry is there immediately to tackle and bring me down. Loss of 6 on the run.
Just a great job of reading the keys. Missed block by the offensive lineman. Once again, that was 74, missing a block, allowing this running back to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
One of the things Larry Scott told us, hey, we have to find a way to neutralize the defensive front, or at least contain that for the Bulldogs here. Wide receiver pass out to Casey Hawthorne, and Hawthorne can't wiggle away. Was tripped up and brought down by Jalen Levine. It's now 3rd down.
And as we talk about Caden High for South Carolina State, Casey Hawthorne's a guy. If the Howard offense is having success, he's doing something in the play, making a key block, making someone miss, getting the ball on a jet sweep. He's one of those guys, number 3, Casey Hawthorne. The Howard needs to get as many touches to as possible.
Howard, who has had success on third downs, got to get to the 28-yard line. Scroggins feeling some pressure. Flag comes out. He scrambles, still on his feet, and stopped by Jared Washington, just short of the first down. We'll await to hear the call, likely in the area of a hold. So Jason Soisman with the call here.
Personal foul, face man, offense number 56. Half the distance to the goal, replay third down.
Instead, it goes against the left tackle, face mask from Cam May.
Left side of your screen on the inside move. Yeah, good call. Tough break for Howard, but that was the right call. Absolutely, hands to the face by Cam May, the sophomore from Detroit, Michigan.
So an even longer way to go for the Bison. Now 19 yards to pick up here, out of his own end zone, off his big back foot. And the pass complete, but nowhere to go for Eaton James as Aaron Smith was mirroring him the entire way. It's fourth down for the Bison.
Now, good job by South Carolina State, not allowing Howard to gain any momentum after the turnover, and still, with the defense making a play, the help of the penalty, have an opportunity to get the ball back in a really good field position if Caden High can get a decent return.
And also, if you're Jaden Green, you want to make sure you field this cleanly, standing in your own end zone. And South Carolina State has gotten close a couple of times on punts to nearly blocking it. This time, Caden High once again, not returnable, going backwards. And Fair catches it. So they're going to start their possession in Howard territory with a 7-7 ball game here in this MEAC matchup.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking...
Retired Colonel Alexander Conyers, the president of more than 2,600 students. Carl McCullough and Jim Clyburn, who is a heavy hitter in the political space, are graduates of South Carolina State. And I'll tell you this, the Bulldog faithful traveled well here to Green Stadium to watch their Bulldogs take on the Howard Bison. KZ Adams, who already has a touchdown in this game. Solid pickup of 5 yards on that run.
And talk about the school bio, how about a little classy act? So we were at South Carolina State last week, and we mentioned Jim Clyburn, and I said they should name a building after him or something for all he's done for South Carolina State University. He actually called and said thank you. Didn't have to do that. And I'm like, thank me for all that you've done for your ECU in America. No, thank you, Rep Clyburn. Keep doing what you do.
Indeed, he's probably watching on again, so you got him. You got your thank you in. So very cool, Jay. KZ Adams makes a man miss. That was a nice juke move and a pickup of a first down from KZ Adams. A 9-yard gain.
And it's a first down, but if you're Howard, you take that, because we've seen South Carolina State, they like to throw the ball vertically down the field. Now, the only reason they're throwing the ball short is because the wide receivers aren't able to get behind Howard's defensive back. So that'd be something to pay attention to as this game moves on.
And you've seen also how committed to the run Jonathan Williams, the offensive coordinator, has been, trying to balance things out. And obviously, you said something earlier. Howard feeling very good about their DBs and their secondary, feeling like it's the strength when we talked to Troy Douglas earlier. And South Carolina's State respecting it right here. Yeah,
not afraid to put them on an island. And they said this is where they like to play chess. They like to get that look, then change up something. So Howard gave them one look defensively. Now they're going to try and change it to throw off the quarterback's read.
Feeling some pressure, and a big open field there to run up the seam was Eric Phoenix, and he picks up the first down, gain of 10 yards on the run. But you always have to account for that with Eric Phoenix, that he can tuck it and run if needed.
Very savvy, and a great job of penetration by Jamel Steele, but The linebacker core have their back turned, looking for wide receivers and running backs. Easy hole for Phoenix to spot out and pick up the yards needed.
Phoenix, quick zip in, and the pass is incomplete to Justin Smith-Brown. Tried to find Smith-Brown, Robert Jones III, the MEAC Defensive Player of the Week from a...
They want to get this passing game going. And you see right there, catchable ball, but not able to hold on to it. And you just get the sense that South Carolina State, they want to throw the ball. They get a little frustrated. I'm starting to feel the frustration. They'll run the ball, but that's not what they want to do. They want to get Eric Phoenix throwing the ball all over the field.
I was high in motion, used him a little bit as a decoy as Phoenix took off and picked up 5 yards on the run. It's going to be 3rd down and 5 now for South Carolina State. And because they've been a little frustrated, to your point, Jay, what does Jonathan Williams go with? You know you want to get the ball high. You know you can get it to Smith-Brown as well. 0 and 6 in white. What do you do?
Well, he's going to trust Eric Phoenix to make the pass call here, realizing it's 4-down territory. And Phoenix is probably going to take a check down. You know, they've been giving them the running backs out of the backfield. You stay patient enough to make sure that you don't try to force something.
Phoenix looking and forced it in there and was able to get just enough into Justin Smith-Brown.
Be close.
Woo.
They're going to call it 4th down, but what we said, it's 4-down territory for them. You know they're going to go for it on 4th down. Taking the crossing route in front of them. Good open field tackle. Sets up 4th and short. Probably what they've been having success is, do they go back to the quarterback sweep? So that had been their short yardage situation. But after the turnover on the last one, what do they draw up offensively?
They give it to Tyler Smith. Smith looking for a room to run and doesn't find any.
He's short.
Once again, the Howard defense holding Terrence Holland, coming up with another critical play. Well, they say he is the leader of the front 7, an all-conference performer. And Terrence Holland, once again, denying a red zone opportunity for South Carolina State. And this defense holding, making plays, and doing what's needed.
And what do? You bend, but you don't break. Good job by the interior defensive lineman and the inside linebacker. Terrence Holland comes up big for the Bison. I see a big money.
On the field, the linebacker for the Bison helped to hold once again. The senior out of Cleveland, Ohio, keeps showing up and showing out.
Always been fun to watch, exciting guy. He's old school linebacker, disruptive, thumper. Comes up with a big stand. Now, can the offense get it going again?
Scroggins keeping it himself, flung down. Jay, one of the things we talked about coming in was the rushing attack for Howard and the fact that they have had success, the best in the league in doing so, 179 yards on the ground. 9 rushes thus far, 3 yards picked up in the ground game.
I think they lead the conference in rushing because they have the best running backs, arguably by committee. I'm not saying it's necessarily the best offensive line for blowing you off the line of scrimmage, but those are your playmakers. Casey Hawthorne, Jared Hunter, Eden James.
Well defended and then batted down just in the nick of time by Casey Hawthorne as Jared Washington was on the coverage. So now 3rd and 8 upcoming for the Bison.
The team speed is still there. I mean, we know South Carolina State's one of the fastest teams you're going to see, but watch this. After the ball's deflected, Hawthorne just knocks it down, so the cornerback Jared Washington will not have an opportunity to come up with that interception.
Well, heads up play for Hawthorne as Jordan O'Daffer, the defensive coordinator for South Carolina State, looking to hold the Bison to a 3 and out. On 3rd down, some pressure coming, and Washington once more in the area of the pass as Jashawn Scroggins went down hard once he released it.
And just not the series. I mean, the defense has done a good job the past 2 possessions, and the offense hasn't backed them up. Another 3 plays and punt the football. When you're playing a good team like South Carolina State, you can't keep rolling the dice like this. Sooner or later, they're going to break through and take advantage of good field position.
And one way that they can do that is in special teams. Caden High, who has yet to return a punt yet, standing at his own 43-yard line. And once more, a fair catch. So credit Jaden Green for doing a great job of keeping in the air long enough so his guys can get down the field and cover on the punt. 47-yard punt for Green. Well, after starting off with that touchdown on their opening possession, capped off by a KZ Adams run, it's been a punt, fumble, and then turnover on downs their last possession. And they started that last drive in Howard territory.
And one of the keys is, they're at least getting first downs on drives. They're hurting themselves, not able to finish the drive. A couple opportunities to maybe take a field goal if they wanted to. Aggressive coaching decisions by Chinnis Berry.
Phoenix one-on-one coverage. Caden High, though, they had some help over the top with Xavier Robio as Carson Hinton was on the coverage. And it's 2nd and 10.
I told you that last drive. They're frustrated. They want to throw the ball. They've been able to move it, but now they're going to force it and try and get Eric Phoenix going. Howard playing man-to-man coverage, and good job of coverage with help over the top. That's Carson Hinton. Along with some safety help. Howard not afraid to play man-to-man versus South Carolina State. But you can just get the feeling the Bulldogs, they want to get this offense going, throwing it.
And Phoenix just off the mark there with Justin Smith-Brown. 2 plays, 2 incompletions, and it's 3rd and 10 Bulldogs.
Don't get too confident. This is a team that's similar to, I used to have that feeling when I played quarterback, like, oh, if I'm going to throw it 3 times, I'm going to hit you once out of 3. If I go 1 out of 3, it's going to be for the first down. And you get that feeling, even though it's 3rd and 10, that Eric Phoenix can come up with a play to hurt you again to keep the offense on the field.
Third down, Phoenix looking middle of the field, has the speedy Enosh Carter in stride for the touchdown. 63 yards to the house. He says, I'm going to try one more time. 3rd time was the charm.
That's why I said on 3rd and long, normally you feel pretty comfortable about your chances, but not against South Carolina State. And Eric Phoenix, with this vertical passing game, puts so much pressure on your defensive secondary and threw an absolute dime to Carter.
Exactly the way the OC drew it up and executed to perfection. That gives South Carolina State the lead. And Gallegos on to attempt the extra point. And blocked it, did not get through, so it's 13-7, and we'll see how that impacts later down the line after that blocked PAT by the Bison. But Eric Phoenix, the graduate out of Savannah, Georgia, you talked about just how much he put that one right where it needed to be, in stride with Carter.
Yeah, Carter's speedy, and we know they have a lot of team speed. It's a long time to ask, one of your safeties in Carson Hinton, number 2, to chase somebody down the field like that. Kenny Gallup coming over, not able to get the help there. So basically had Hinton on an island, and great job of execution by South Carolina State.
And then the block there, I think Noah Miles got a hand on that one to block the PAT. South Carolina State on the road trying to remain perfect in the conference. They've got the edge over the Bison. Now can their defense get them the ball right back? They forced a 3-and-out on the last drive. Into the end zone, and a touchback. So Howard will start this drive from their own 25-yard line.
The Bison, they need to get this offense going.
I was going to say, how do they respond after that quick strike from South Carolina State? And I made a note earlier, wanted to make a correction. It was -3 yards they were. So they're leading the MEAC in rushing, but had negative yardage in that last drive. So how do you establish Jarrett, Hunter, and Eden James as we take a look at the Royal Court, Mr. and Miss Howard University?
You know a lot more about that than I do. You were part of the Royal Court at Florida A&M. I know nothing about that. Just they wear suits to games.
They look good and great ambassadors for the university, and that one's picked off into the hands of number 24, Quantre Harry. Boy, we've called his name a few times today, Jay, and you can see Jordan O'Daffer definitely pumped up after that, getting the ball right back to their offense.
And just throwing the ball in traffic. I don't know if the wide receiver fell down, but it seemed like it was a curl combination, but you had people crossing in front of the quarterback to receiver. And throws this ball, just a number of white jerseys and maybe some miscommunication between the wide receiver and quarterback, but danger zone time for Howard University. South Carolina State's going to try their best to put some more points on the board, and they get the ball to start the second half. Howard needs a defensive stop in a desperate way.
Both teams now have forced a turnover. Second time that we're seeing South Carolina State start in Bison territory. The celebration on the sideline for the Bulldogs. Can they capitalize here? The offense back on the field led by Eric Phoenix. Looking, gets it away. And that one got a hand on it by Hartley Jr. And so good pass breakup there for the Bison.
Collapsed the pocket, but forced Phoenix to stay in the pocket and make an inaccurate throw. And that's why it all has to be in sync. If Phoenix isn't throwing that ball under pressure, he's able to step into that throw, and that's another big play. So the defensive line for Howard has to pick it up and make number 7 uncomfortable.
Giving chase, and doing so, they run Phoenix off his spot. I was going to ask, 3rd and 10 coming up, but how do you make, or how has Howard made Eric Phoenix uncomfortable?
Well, getting pressure, all pressure in his face, and confusing him with the reads. And I think as a quarterback, Phoenix is probably thinking, I'm not going to have my most efficient game because they're going to try and give me exotic looks and play man-to-man coverage, but I can hit them for explosive plays. I can go 14 for 35 for 320 yards with the big plays. He's not going to be able to pick them apart. Free play here.
Free play indeed. It was 3rd and 10 last time after that big play. Going for it with DeAndre Ruffin. So let's hear from Jason Soisman.
Offside. Defense number 91. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
That's the second time today we've seen Noah Miles jump offside. Look at that. That's a link, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Now cut it in half. It's 3rd and 5. Got to get to the 25. They spread out, empty backfield. Watch number 5 in white. Keyshawn Tony underneath. Instead, it's Caden High, and a nice pass breakup by Carson Hinton. Hinton making it tough. He's a physical guy from Detroit, and he says Detroit what on that play? Coming up big.
A good job making a break on the ball. One that Caden High normally makes that catch. But seems like they're picking on Hinton a little bit. Anytime they get the matchup with Hinton versus one of their wide receivers in the slot, we've seen Eric Phoenix attack.
Going for it again here on 4th down, 1 of 3 today. Just kind of in that in-between territory. So Phoenix looking, has pressure, brought down. Once again, another huge play and stopped by Terrence Holland. to do so far today. Through 27 minutes of play.
And if you're going to blitz and play man-to-man coverage, get to the quarterback. So they went man-to-man. They brought the pressure, and Holland able to take down Phoenix. Huge play for the swing of things. South Carolina State didn't use hardly any clock.
So you like that there, though, Jay? It's the rope. See the rope.
That's more rope, yeah. Instead of the chain that we saw on the other one, that was a rope. Howard offense, you have to take advantage. They gave you a gift. They're giving you the ball back in good field position. You've got your timeouts.
Best start for them in field position. Jaden Broughton tried to get to him, and big hit leveled on Jared Hunter by Jaden Jones. And that's going to be in the area of a targeting.
They're going to look for targeting.
Yeah.
Was there a launch in real time without seeing it? I mean, he went and tried to lower the boom. He tried to, as the Rock say, lay it the smacketh down.
You going to finish on the Rudy poo? Andy? No? Okay, Jay. I mean, you took it there. Let's look at it here again. Lowered his head. Crown or head of the helmet. Did he launch?
Let's see.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 29. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Previous play is under further review.
Hard hit, very hard hit, but the targeting, we'll see if we're going to have an ejection or not of Jaden Jones. This could be a key moment in this game. We'll see when we come back.
I love watching my child.
And Chinnis Berry holding his breath, hoping that Jaden Jones not called for targeting here. The head linesman threw his flag out right there when he saw that. Was it targeting? They say no, it was not, Jay.
Yeah, we looked at it a couple times. Looked like he led with the shoulder, and there was some helmet contact there. Very close call. South Carolina State fortunate that Jaden Jones can stay in the game.
So now 2nd and 9. Ja'Shawn Scroggins, dangerous throw, it's picked off. That's Jared Washington, and Washington in for the pick six. What a turn of events, just like that. 47-yard return after the interception from Washington.
And so often we say college football landscape has changed. What you don't see is out routes hardly anymore because of plays like that. If you throw the ball late or the defensive back jumps the route, bad things can happen. If you're going to take that out route, you have to make sure that the defensive back cannot jump the route. Great play by Jared Washington. One of the transfers from Benedict, yes. Making an impact for South Carolina State.
One of the 7 that you mentioned starting, coming over from Benedict. And after that blocked PAT on the last scoring drive, they're going to go for 2 here. They have yet to convert on a 2-point conversion this season. Can they be successful here? Rolling to his right, finds Keyshawn Toney, and successful they are. So South Carolina State up by 2 scores. Back-to-back turnovers now from Howard, led to this right here, the Jared Washington pick 6 on that last throw.
And missed behind the wide receiver, Casey Hawthorne. I mean, look at the placement of this. I mean, it's a good break on the ball, but get it out there front. Get it out there in front of him. You can take away the chance of that interception, but he missed behind, slightly late. And South Carolina State makes Ja'Shawn Scroggins pay. Huge pick 6. And just think about it. I mean, the defense has been doing a good job for Howard. I mean, they have been fighting them off and fighting them off. Offense not able to get out of the way and cost the Bison points on the scoreboard.
Well, that one right there makes Jacoby Durant, the former Bulldog and Defensive Player of the Year in the MEAC a few years back, now with the LA Rams, proud. He was a part of that Bulldog secondary when they won the Celebration Bowl back in 2021. And so now, this kickoff is not going to be returned. South Carolina State has scored 14 points in the last 64 seconds to give them a 2-score lead. And while we have this moment, folks, want to let you in on this week's power rankings. Jay, what's it looking like in the HBCU world?
We're starting to see why. Good team's going to make you pay, right? South Carolina State is making Howard pay right now. Smooth sailing for them. They've really, really impressed me with their speed. Jackson State, good job by the fighting TC Taylors out of Jackson, Mississippi Central. Got to drop you down a little bit, still in the top 5. And FAMU, they keep winning. They're in there in Southern.
And a big throw here on first down, gunning for Casey Hawthorne, Washington. They're testing him right after that interception. The pass incomplete from Scroggins.
How about on those power rankings? Southern and FAM, both of them, I feel like, I got to put you there because you're winning, but you're not winning pretty.
But did they record how pretty you win when it says W?
Yeah, but sometimes you can wear out that. You know, getting W's is one thing, but there's certain called style points when it comes to ranking. So, like, but give credit to Southern University here in pretty shape of clinching a spot in the SWAC championship game.
Chasing is Jaden Broughton as Scroggins has to run out of bounds. It's going to bring up third down and about 9. Who'd you have on the bubble there, Jay?
Alabama State. Alabama State's a good one. So I think, to me, that's the closest one I've got to putting in the equation.
What about Alcorn?
Alcorn there. Alcorn as well. Those are the two I think are there that are in contention. But I think by far 1 and 2 and 3 are pretty clear cut.
Well, Howard needing to stay in this ball game, down by a couple of scores, wanting to try to put up some points before they go into the locker room here on 3rd and 9. And Scroggins stepping up, and then he's brought down, wrapped up by Jamal McKinney.
This half is not over, because there's going to be a timeout called by South Carolina State. They want that ball back, and they're going to try and put the Bison in a deeper hole. That's a jeopardy you have when you decide you want to throw 3 times and you have incomplete passes the last 2 minutes.
You see that pressure coming from McKinney. 3rd in FCS in sacks per game. First of the ball game today. They averaged just about 3 or better each game. And so now the opportunity with just under a minute and a half to go, and Chinnis Berry want to keep their foot on the necks of the Howard Bison, and they get the ball back coming out of the locker room.
And I will tell you, if they can put a block on the gunner, and they've got to focus on it. The gunner's a guy in man line of scrimmage that's going to chase down the ball. If they can block him right there on the 20, then you can get a return. I mean, Hyde's been waiting to return, but that gunner's been right in his face. Fake.
Oh, it's a fake!
Wow, are you kidding me? They got bailed out. That was not the call you make in that situation.
And rolling the dice there with the fake punt.
Pass interference, defense, number 22. Falls replaces the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
That's the first South Carolina State penalty. It comes at an inopportune time as Dominic Howard was whistled for the PI.
Yeah, just a tough one. Just a tough one. And maybe that's by design. Maybe they say, hey, just throw it in the area we know with his back turned, throw it short, and we're going to design for our receiver to come on back. That Rubio, wow.
They got the ball back by any means necessary, bailed out indeed, but Howard gets another shot at it. They've got all 3 timeouts remaining.
Screen pass. They just called a timeout, I guess, to regroup, so they'll be down the timeout for Howard. But screen passes, high percentage passes where you can gain a couple yards and keep the clock going. Learn from your previous mistakes. So it'll be Interesting what you dial up. But I'm screen pass. I love the running backs. I get the ball to Hunter or James in space. Casey Hawthorne.
And you see the day in which Jayshon Scroggins started with 7-9, 82 yards and a touchdown. But since then, it's gone in the wrong direction for Larry Scott's liking. A couple of interceptions and just one completion. They need to see their young quarterback grow up in this moment. With 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen, he gets it out before the pressure. And it was Saquon Osborne who was the intended target.
You've got a quarterback that's not reading coverages right now. He's not reading Nathan right now. You say nothing, Nathan. He's not reading. Throwing it up. Throwing 2 interceptions. Take the pressure off. Take the load off. Let's get into the locker room. Let's get into the locker room. You throw another incomplete pass, or you may throw an interception. There's going to be a timeout called. And right now, South Carolina State just wants to get the ball back to increase the lead.
Instead, underneath, they find Jared Hunter, but also right there was Aaron Smith. No gain on the play. Indeed, he is.
Did you see him walk down the running back? You talk about NFL talent and the speed on display. Watch this, single-handedly. He's looking at the quarterback's eyes. Get around. You can't block me. Turn the speed on. Looked a lot like Shaq Leonard there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Or Darius Leonard.
Darius Leonard, but we knew him as Darius, and then he got into the league and he became Shaq Leonard. One of the smartest and toughest guys on this team for Chinnisberry. And now on 3rd and 10, Scroggins looking for room, has an open man, finds Keontae Mosley, the tight end. A good scramble and made something out of nothing there after a 24-yard pickup. Clock will stop just for a second while it's spotted. And they've got 2 timeouts to work with here at midfield.
I'm surprised South Carolina State didn't call a timeout after that big play. But now Howard, signs of life here.
Scroggins goes down, but pass complete. Staying on his feet is Braylon Smith. And Smith, who is clipped down
timeout
at the 25-yard line. Howard does indeed spin another timeout and getting rolling. Back-to-back completions from Scroggins.
Well, interesting into this half here. It looked like Howard was out of it, about to give up more points and give the ball back. Now they've got South Carolina State on their heels trying to stop the Bison from shrinking this lead, and great job of balance by Smith, bouncing off a tackler.
And so now with 12 seconds remaining, you've got 1 timeout left. What do you do in these final dozen seconds?
Take a shot at the end zone. Any type of one-on-one you get towards the end zone, you try and get one of those type of passes there. But feel comfortable to know, tell everybody, if I throw you the ball on a crossing route, you don't want to throw a curl route or anything like that. Something where a guy's in motion, a slant or a crossing route. Hey, make the catch, get as much charges as you can, get down quickly as possible. Pre-snap read, you can't come down to the bottom half of your screen because they've got 2 safety coverage over there, so you got to look at something at the top half of your screen.
Scroggins, a lot of time going off the clock, and that's Josh Barker, the interior lineman, with a huge sack. Loss of 11 yards, final timeout taken by Howard. And so, instead of being in field goal range, now that pushes them completely out of it.
Breakdown in the protection. As a quarterback, you've got to know, if I feel anything, I'm getting rid of the football. Worst thing you do is the interception or sack. So, does he have time to get rid of it? You got to get rid of it. Oh, he's coming right at you. Once he's coming up the gut like that, you got to throw the ball away. But Josh Barker, defensive tackle, double whammy. Poor protection by the offensive line, and a poor decision not to get rid of the football, to take a sack. That situation, basically take your team out of field goal range.
Part of the growing pains with a young team and a young quarterback for Larry Scott. Gonna take a shot at the end zone. All you can do with the final seconds and a back-to-back sack. This time it's It's a shot hole. And that's how we'll head into the locker room as the South Carolina State defense coming up mighty here. They've got a 21-7 lead over the defending MEAC champs.
Looking like the #1 team in HBCU football right now. Took a couple shots from Howard, but came back with a counter punch. Howard's got some work to do in the locker room.
Well, not to be outdone, because Josh Barker started off that last one, and then Ashad Hall says, no, we're not going to go into the locker room like that. I've got to make my name known out here in these streets. The back-to-back sacks, and South Carolina State with a 2-score lead. Welcome to ESPN College Football, presented by McDonald's. Back here at Green Stadium, two MEAC contenders going head-to-head halfway through the conference season. A 21-7 advantage for South Carolina State over the defending MEAC champion, Howard Bison. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green back here with you, taking a look at the first half highlights. And boy, we got off to a quick start on their opening possession. KZ Adams punches it in for the touchdown, and then Howard coming right back.
Yeah, nice response by the Howard Bison, but after that, their offense went absolutely flat. And a good team like South Carolina State, you give them too many possessions, they're going to make you pay. They opened up the explosive plays in the passing game, and what a critical pick-6 interception by Gerard Washington to help the Bulldogs in the first half.
Well, it was a lot of momentum taken from South Carolina State and what they were able to do. Hey, look, I love this angle, this view. The helmet cam, our camera crew is doing a great job.
That's fun.
Yeah, that is.
Until you realize somebody's going to come hit you. So that's fun if it's video game. That's all. Nobody gets hurt in a video game. But
first player version of it from the helmet. Hey, looking at the first half stats, negative 22 yards on the ground for the top rushing team in the conference. Meanwhile, South Carolina State has amassed 200 total yards of offense. They've gone for it multiple times on fourth downs, only converted once. Could be a very different story if they're able to convert.
Who's going to hit their spot? You know, that's what it's called. Who's going to hit their spot? So South Carolina State, the big thing, they throw for almost 270 yards a game passing. They're on their way to getting to 270. Howard rushes for over 150 yards a game. They're not even close. They're not going to get to their number. So that's going to be the key. How do you find your number? It's a lot of offense you're leaving on the table. Negative 22 for a team that averages 180 yards on the ground. And go back to when the game first started, Tiff, I had questions about them establishing the run. Establishing that you can run the ball, control the line of scrimmage. I don't think they did that. That was not their game plan. I think they want to come out and throw the ball, and they've had mixed results at best.
Well, if you're just tuning into this ball game, South Carolina State in the driver's seat, sole possession of first place. A win against Howard would be critical for this team coached by Chinnis Berry. They've got an all-important game next week at Morgan State before they close out at home against Norfolk State. And as we take a look at the first half standings, the MEAC standings, Morgan State with a big win as they were able to notch it over Delaware State. South Carolina State right now trying to remain unblemished. The first possession out of the locker room, Eric Phoenix right to Justin Smith-Brown, and the tackle made as Robert Jones III wrestles him down. Pickup of 7.
One of the things we knew that South Carolina State got frustrated in the first half about not being able to throw the ball. They kind of forced the throw. They wanted to get Eric Phoenix going. And I like what the offensive coordinator, Jonathan Williams, is doing. We're going to get Eric Phoenix going early in the second half because he's going to have to be a key factor.
You're on the jet sweep. Enosh Carter with the carry and tripped up. Great tackle in the backfield by Xavier Robio. And Robio holds him to a -2 play.
The run defense for Howard has been great. You know, they've come up with the stops, not allowing them to run in between the tackles. This is just a great job of tracking it down, playing assignment football, not letting anything get outside your angle. The 3rd and 5, dangerous versus South Carolina State if you don't pressure the quarterback.
Who should they be keeping an eye on at home?
0. And now number 1 going into the slot, one-on-one versus safety.
Both to the top, or one to the top of your screen, one to the bottom, and there is
0.
High, 0. Like you said, Jay, out of the slot, Carson Hinton brings him down, but after not after that 8-yard pickup. So Caden High, a guy who is a top 15 receiver in all of FCS when you're talking about receiving yards as well as receptions on the season. And he has been a dude for them. KZ Adams bouncing to the outside, finding all kind of holes, cuts, making man miss. And KZ Adams showing off a little flash there on that 23-yard run.
What you mentioned earlier, a guy that rushed for 3,000 yards in a season in high school. Well, he's got to have the ability to make people miss and finish off runs. Nice stiff arm. These Bulldogs, you're starting to feel this rhythm they're getting into offensively.
Quick tempo and right out to Enosh Carter, tackled by number 1 in blue, Robert Jones III. So it's going to bring up 2nd and short. And the pace in which Bulldogs come out of the locker room, just again trying to keep their foot on the glass as Caden High tried to get a little decoy, and it was Eric Phoenix.
All out again.
Yeah, ball security has been important, and that's something that Chinnis Berry mentioned to us before the game, making sure you take care of the football. The forced fumble was out of bounds, but again, Eric Phoenix kind of vulnerable with the ball so far in this game.
Ball security, and they're trying to help him. They're calling the quarterback sweep to his left so he can keep the ball in his left hand. He's a left-handed quarterback.
In the red zone, quickly wide open is Keyshawn Toney. 20 yards for the touchdown score. Well, he finds one of the NFL prospects on this squad, and Keyshawn Toney makes good on the receiving end.
It's incredible to me how he was able to get so wide open. Hopefully we'll take a look at the replay after this. They went with an empty formation. Empty says pass, pass, pass. Nothing about empty says we're going to run the ball unless it's quarterback draw. They bit falling for a wide receiver bubble screen and just completely lost track of Toney on the field.
The extra point is up, and it's through. So just under 3 minutes taken off the clock, and South Carolina State getting the score.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look there. There's no running back in the backfield. They're worried about a wide receiver bubble screen, allow the most dangerous man in the middle of the field, number 5, to just walk into the end zone for the score. Poor defense, Bison.
On a Longing, Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Ramon, what are you doing here? Texting another conference now.
Yeah, but it's like on the other side of the country. It's really, really far.
But you're not even on our schedule this season.
Maybe we can meet you in the playoffs.
That's crazy talk.
You know what else is crazy? Getting all that Dr. Pepper flavor with 0 sugar.
But Dr. Pepper doesn't have a questionable secondary like Tech does.
Here, catch!
And that's why you're a mascot.
College football, it's a Pepper thing.
You don't know who I am. You can push through anything as long as you believe.
Our family calls Alex the Phoenix. He always rises from the ash.
Paterno never faced any charges, but he didn't escape judgment.
Who has like a career-defining moment at 37?
The whole country is watching, and the world is watching.
NHL on ESPN Plus is back. Enjoy 1,000+ out-of-market games and so much more. That's hockey on ESPN Plus. Sign up today.
A program known for defense, they have held up their end of the bargain for this 2024 team, and here tonight they have taken care of business and lowered the boom on the Howard Bison.
The offense has always been optional in South Carolina, but they've got offense this year, but they're trying to send a message. Don't forget now, we're the school that produced Deacon Jones and Donnie Shell, Harry Carson, Javon Hargrave, Robert Porcher. You always knew it was going to be a physical game when you played South Carolina State. I think the years they struggled when they weren't as strong, but now they're showing why I've got them ranked as my #1 HBCU football team in the country.
Well, bringing it out of the end zone, Isaiah Williams, and Williams with a nice little hesitation move, and flag comes flying out at the end of the play on that return from Williams.
The very end of that return was a foul, thinking either personal foul or block in the back.
Williams, who scored the lone touchdown tonight for Howard, trying to get some spark here in Green Stadium.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 9, 10-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
Well, Chinnisberry has seen his group score 21 unanswered points, as we were knotted at 7 apiece for a while, and then South Carolina State just took off, including to start this second half.
Chinnisberry's got him playing Chinnisberry-type football. Obviously, good chance of being a runaway coach for Coach of the Year, HBCU Coach of the Year, as well as FCS Coach of the Year. Job he's done with this team.
Jayshon Scroggins on the carry. Well, the defense, and there's a little altercation going on the sideline for South Carolina State. Flag comes out. As you see, big number 74, Samuel Xavier Hill, pulling out his teammate, Cyrus Wilson. So Wilson, who got caught up in that South Carolina State sideline. Another look at it here. So Washington and Wilson.
Just wouldn't let him go, then started kicking him. That's what happened. I think there was a point there where Jared Washington could have let him go as he was going to the ground. But no, if I'm going down, you're coming with me. And on your own sideline, pretty good job by 74, Samuel Hill, going in there, grabbing his receiver, getting him out of there.
And we saw some chippiness to start this game, right? And so picking up essentially where we left off, if you will, because this game is so important to both.
After the play was over, the fouls by both teams. Unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 12. Unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 80. The yardages will offset. It will be second down. This is both players' first unsportsmanlike conduct towards disqualification.
That's tough. I say that because there was a referee that was close by and threw that flag. If you saw somebody swing or throw a punch, I mean, you don't call this offsetting. I mean, it's a grab. He's trying to get him off the throw, and they know you're coming down with me. Then he's get grabbed up top. Tough one, but offsetting a little. Let him play it on the field.
So what's going to be the engine that helps this Howard University offense go here in the second half, Jay?
Running the ball. I mean, establish a running game to give help to your quarterback that did not have a good first half.
And they hand it off to Jared Hunter, right up the middle, just as you said it, Jay, and into Bulldog territory.
Even if the numbers say you're outnumbered in the box, you have to force that run sometimes. When your best players are your running backs, get them touches.
And Jared Hunter, who is slow to get up, voted the preseason MEAC Offensive Player of the Year. He had that great burst on that run, and then afterward, he comes up in pain.
You know, great job making one guy miss, turns on the sprint. You'll see at the end of this run, I'm pretty sure he landed on the football there. Hopefully that'll be something he can shake off. They're going to need him back, but big run for Jared Hunter. Howard's got the ball. Pretty good field position.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking
about our honeymoon.
What about Africa? Safari.
Hot air balloon ride.
Swim with elephants.
Wait, can we afford?
Green back here with you at Green Stadium, the leading team in the MEAC. South Carolina State on top 28-7. Howard, their first possession out of the locker room. And that last play of 35 yards puts them in the positive category for rushing yards, an area where they've excelled all season. And the ball comes out, it's fumbled. And falling on top of that was the center, Josiah Chenault.
Indecision. Indecision. As a quarterback, you got to know what you're going to do. The last second, you saw Scroggins second-guess himself. Look, he's got it here. I'm going to give it to you. No, I don't. Great job by the defensive lineman, Josh Barker, not letting him get back to the ball.
And again, the youth and inexperience, just the 6th career start for Jayshon Scroggins, getting used to being the top guy, going down, and once again, this time it's John Hannibal.
And we talked about the youthfulness, as you mentioned right there. A little bit of panic right now. This is probably some of the better protection he had in this game. But you'll see during the drop back, he gets to the top of his drop, settle, right there, settle. Why sprint? There was a pocket there. That's why I say, you know, a certain point, you don't know what he's looking at, what's he seeing right now. And right now, he's seeing a lot of white jerseys where if they say boo, he's going to take off and run.
4 sacks tonight on Scroggins, and now 3rd, and a long way to go. You got to get this play off just with 1 second left on the play clock. And Scroggins goes underneath, has Eden James right there as a South Carolina State. That's Josh Barker's helmet that came off along with the flag. Pick up a 7 from James.
Personal foul, hands to the face, offense number 74. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 3rd down.
So that's going to wipe out that gain, and we'll get the penalty here.
Right tackle there, right on the blue, 74. Tough, might have been a combination of a loose helmet and a little bit of contact there, but Samuel Hill got called for another penalty. But did you see on that? You gave the ball to Eden James in open field. First guy came up, make a tackle. He made a miss. Took a nothing play and picked up about 11 yards off of it. Those are the type of plays you have to get the ball in your playmaker's hands to let them do something, particularly when a quarterback is struggling.
Yeah, you hope to have that on 1st or 2nd down. That was a 3rd down play. Now it's 3rd and forever because they're backed up after the penalty. And James in the backfield, moving to the right of Scroggins. He's looking across the middle, and that throw low to Casey Hawthorne. It's incomplete, and 4th down is on the way.
Put him in a tough situation there. 3rd and 33, call the draw. You know, do that. Instead, got a wide receiver hit. And still trying to mature, the maturity process. You're going to go through your lumps.
The punter, Jaden Green, on from his own 30. Goes down to get it. And has done a great job tonight as that one was fumbled by Caden High, and Howard recovers.
State's trying to let him stay up in here. South Carolina State is trying to let them hang around. You make a mistake, you never want to catch a punt when you're in a full sprint. He's in a full sprint, becomes a slide, might have been detracted by his blocker, but turnover for South Carolina State, giving Howard some more signs of life.
Well, a great opportunity here for Howard now after Jackson was able to recover the fumble. Ball spotted on the 25-yard line of South Carolina State.
Hunter back in the ball game, so that's a good sign for Howard.
And on 1st down, they elect to throw it. Scroggins scrambling, takes off, sees Aaron Smith, wisely runs out of bounds. So a pickup of 4, positive yardage now, 2nd and 6.
Good job of pursuit by Aaron Smith, but I just don't know what your play selection is right now when Scroggins is not feeling comfortable in the pocket. I still would like to see them utilize these running backs that they've got. Jet sweep with Casey Hawthorne, something creative to get him the ball.
And look at this formation as Hawthorne splits to his right, two receiver running backs. And as his man, there's Jared Hunter out of the backfield for the score.
Good job.
Through the air, 21 yards, touchdown Howard.
And I say the good job because I've been critical of some of the decisions that Scroggins was making. Just like that, found some confidence, found a comfortable play, which he felt comfortable getting the ball to his playmakers. We talked about Jared Hunter with a touchdown. This light show here.
Yeah, you know, this is...
Jealous. I can have a light show when I'm in here.
Hey, Athletics Director Kerry Davis adding and boosting up. Look, this is...
Now it's going on too long.
Yeah, but this is the team that made it to the Cricket Celebration Bowl last year, trying to get back. They're showing signs of life, and defending MEAC champions cut it to a 2-score game. Jay Walker, you call it, you see it.
Hey, get the ball to the running backs in open field. Great job, great execution of the play. South Carolina State had them down, but the Bison are not out yet.
The Royal Court on hand. Good crowd as well here at Green Stadium on this Veterans Day weekend. And marching 101 at halftime along with the Showtime marching band. Put on a fantastic display of musicality and showmanship.
I didn't get a little glimpse of the ooh-la-las. I saw them run across the screen there. Interesting tradition how the senior members of the band get acknowledged with their family at halftime to come on out.
Yeah, the senior members of the football team as well were honored before today's game. 21 in total for this Howard Bison group. Dylan West on the kickoff. And the up man receiving it. All right, Jay, it's time to get into what?
Give me 5.
Yeah.
Jays, give me 5. I think I got this right, Tiff. So far, it's playing out as well. A lot of star power in this game, right? So here go my player predictions for the MEAC Player of the Year candidates. Number 1, the quarterback, Eric Phoenix, thrown for 280 yards a game. Jamari Taylor, let's not forget how great a running back he is. If I got to go defense, Kenny Gallup. I mean, he's an NFL guy. You can see it. Walker Harris from Central, although he's got that loss that hurt last week, still one of the best. And I really like Caden Hyde, this wide receiver there. Not quite making it. How about my on the bubble? I'm going O-line. Giving a shout out in the trenches, Nick Tace, the big lineman for South Carolina State, the leader of this line, who's playing in this game also.
And on the carry and trying to do his job up front as KZ Adams on the carry. I'll tell you, Nick Tace, he's a guy that, you know, had coaches worried just because of his ability. So I like all of your selections, Jay.
But what about an all-star to that guy right there? Degree number 7, top of the list. You can nitpick a little bit like you do. But but I think Phoenix has come in taking this conference by storm, and the offensive production's there. Probably going to hit his number again tonight in another big game. He's just calm, cool, and collected.
That looked to be some wrap-up or movement there as some contact flag coming out as Caden High and Carson Hinton. Collide, I think it may have been. We'll wait to hear.
Pass interference, defense, number 2. Ball being placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
We saw just enough to bump Caden High off his route. All right, I'm chiming in with my 2 cents. I'm going all defense, right? Because Elijah Williams has wreaked havoc on the field this season, defensive end for the Bears. And then how about A.J. Richardson, the leading tackler in the conference? Yes, a tackling machine for Norfolk State. So I'm chiming in with my 2 cents, but we'll wait to see how it all plays out at the end.
Somebody told me we should rename your portion of it. Instead of Tiff's 2 cents, tips to player hates.
Whatever. Come on, man. Wait a minute. Is that what we're doing here?
I mean, I went with all the offense, put a little defense in there. You put 2 defensive players in there.
I did.
I'm a quarterback.
You're a quarterback. And you're a quarterback, so you want offense.
Yeah.
But guess what?
I'm a hater. You want defense. Okay.
Defense wins championships. I don't know why you try to take these cuts at me, partner. Come on now.
Oh, good fake. He had a good ball handling skills.
Now I got to take care of it as Phoenix slides. So he's going to be about 3 yards short of the first down marker. Got to get to the 45-yard line. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 3 for Chinnis Berry and his team.
And the key is the protection. I mean, Chinnis Berry is an offensive line coach, one of the best offensive line coaches you'll see out there. So he's going to protect his quarterback first and put some skill positions behind him. That's why you don't see Phoenix taking unnecessary hits in the pocket.
He's working with an empty backfield and pressure coming.
Great jump by Gallup.
And Gallup was right there. You talked about the All-American safety coming up and reading that play to perfection.
That's why he was number 3 on mine. Jay's Give Me 5.
Yeah, that was the only. What was that? The only defensive player in your Give Me 5?
Look, he knows they're blitzing, so he knows it's going to be something quick. And with that anticipation, he was able to jump the route, being run by Carter, get the pass breakup. Great play by Kenny Gallup Jr.
Well, excellent young man in the classroom working on his graduate degree. Aeneas Williams Award winner, the top HBCU defensive player in the nation last season. He's in the hunt for it again this year. Conference Player of the Year. Also, Kenny Gallup Jr. has been that guy. Excellent punt there as Isaiah Williams doesn't return it, 42 yards, and a flag just near the 50. It appears to be against Howard.
Jordan kick, holding, receiving team number 24. Penalized half the distance from the end of the kick. First down.
So pushing them deeper back into their territory. Boy, what a week it's been for Howard University, the students, coaching staff, administrators, professors. I mean, you had the Secret Service had this campus on lock all week long. Classes were canceled. You could do it virtually. Secret Service dictating to when practices were going to happen for this team. And of course, a reminder of why Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, a graduate of Howard University, class of 1986, was on campus to address America in her bid for the presidential office, which she fell short to. But I'll tell you this, it has been quite a week here on the hilltop. Flag coming out after Eden James carries the ball.
5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Some of the benefits that, football team we don't get, they still had to practice every day.
Yeah.
So I know other students, they were going home. They had like a week, like a mini week vacation where they could go home and all the classes canceled. So I said, oh, wow, you get to have a little, what is it, like a spring break, before Thanksgiving break?
More importantly, both players from each team participated in the democratic process, and the coaches made way for that opportunity for their guys. 2 seconds remaining on the play clock. Got to get it off. And are they able to do so in time? And I don't think so.
Delay game, offense. The 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
So they give the yards right back. And right now, Larry Scott needs to see the grittiness of his group. They've been in football games all season long, coming off that big win against Delaware State. Lost a heartbreaker to Norfolk State. And Jaden Jones tackles Eden James on the carry. But when you look at the season that it's been, it's kind of been an up and down roller coaster for the Bison.
A pickup of 2 on the play against second down and 8.
I want to hear the ups.
Bison.
Well, among the ups, I mean, they've got 4 wins. They were able to pull out a close one against Mercyhurst. They scored 5 points in the final 41 seconds. They erased a halftime deficit against Sacred Heart. And it was Scroggins who scored that go-ahead touchdown. So they have found ways, but right now it's ever so difficult. Has a loss of 3 on that one.
Unless they're able to come out and come back and win this football game, I think it'd be safe to say it'd be a disappointing season for the Bison. You know, so they had high expectations coming in, projected to come in second in conference. A lot of people are hoping they can make a return trip to Atlanta. I think, you got to give credit to guys like Quentin Williams, the longtime starter quarterback, Ian Wheeler, another one of the running backs. That senior class last year accomplished a lot. They set the table for high expectations this year. This has not been the case.
You're on 3rd and 11, the handoff, and that's Jared Hunter, and Hunter, who finds a way to pick up all that's needed and more, a first down, run of 14.
I think that's why you force the run. I mean, good runners are like good passers. You give me 3 passes, I'm going to hit you once. Good runners, you give them 3 runs, they're going to hit you once. And they can hit you with a home run. That's why you have to force feed the running game when you've got great backs.
Under 4 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. And Scroggins, and it's intercepted. Quantre Harry with the INT.
24, Harry.
Second interception of the ball game.
What a play.
And he went up and got it.
Absolutely, off a play action, read the quarterback's eyes and leave your feet. What a play.
Well, Quantre Harry, who has played a great game thus far, the junior out of Bishopville, South Carolina, who is making a name for himself in this one. Think about guys like Antonio Hamilton, previous guys in the secondary. Here has a step. Tyler Smith got behind his man, but overthrown by Phoenix. So which do you prefer, the rope or the chain or the belt?
I like bling. But I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Okay.
Give me the belt to wear it over your shoulder. I gotta wear that thing like a wrestler would, not around the waist, around the shoulder.
Okay.
How about you?
I really like the rope. It's kind of rough and rugged and just down and dirty. It's because it's something different that I haven't seen. As the ball comes loose, it's on the ground, and Phoenix recovers it. Comes on top. Loss of 2. It's going to bring up 3rd and 12.
It's almost like you say, one more time, can the Howard defense come up with another big play here? And I think that's just on the quarterback trying to carry out the fake a little bit too long. Trouble on the exchange between he and Tyler Smith. Middle of the field open, they're coming for the quarterback.
Chinnisberry wants to see those sins, self-inflicted negatives, erased here. Can they pick up 13 yards? Or can the Howard defense hold? And delay of game.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That's you, Tiff. That's that sin. What does the sin stand for?
Self-inflicted negatives.
The delay of game, looking over to the sideline, taking too long in a obvious passing situation. That's a sin.
Chinnisberry, who lets it be known he's got a lot of Chinnisberry-isms, as I like to say.
Howard called off a blitz, going to zone coverage, keep everything in front of him.
Miles bringing pressure. Phoenix still looking, and Miles tracking him down from behind. Noah Miles with the stop. After that pickup of 2. And it's 4th down.
The defense is doing its job once again. Everybody dropping back deep, waiting for him to throw the ball short so they can come up and make a tackle. Good job of tracking him down. Kenny Gallup stayed in his face, and then Noah Miles with the sack.
So Dyson Roberts looking to pin the Bison deep in their own territory. A lot of leg in this one, and it's going to be a touchback.
First down for the Bison at the 25-20-yard line.
Oh, among the things that Howard was able to correct coming out of the locker room is the ground game. I mean, obviously, it's an area where they've excelled this season. It's been the strength of their team. They wanted to run the ball effectively, and you see the difference from the first 30 minutes compared to this third quarter.
They keep going back to it. I mean, let's think back to the last possession. Hunter made a nice run, picked up the first down. They came in, play action pass, interception. Run, run, run. Run, run, run till you don't have to run no more. And they make you throw it.
Hand it off to Casey Hawthorne, and they've not been able to get Hawthorne going. He's one of their playmakers. Hawthorne, the short game, Jordan Dollard on the stop.
So if they stop you once, that's okay. You know, that's how you're setting up the run game. Allow that offensive line to win some battles up front. I got to find a way to get Jared Hunter the ball. He's a playmaker that way, either in the pass or the running game.
He's looking for an opening, gets to the outside, and that perimeter run from him is good enough for a first down.
Sometimes this game is easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get the ball to your best player and make something happen. And that's what I think he brings, that type of talent. He, along with Eaton James, if you don't give him the ball, you're giving him a favor. You take a look at Anthony Lynn, running back coach for the Washington Commanders, former head coach NFL, seeing a good running back right now displaying Jared Hunter.
And playing like a senior should, according to Coach Scott. Jared Hunter has just been an all-purpose guy this season, and not much room to run there as Rashawn Washington comes up with the stop. Loss of 1.
Just imagine that running back room a season ago with Ian Wheeler. Went to camp with the Chicago Bears. Very impressive preseason still in the Bears roster. You got Hunter, Eaton James. Talented group of running backs.
That brings us to the close of the third quarter. It's still a 2-score game, and this one, Keyshawn Toney with the score for the Bulldogs. Bison answer right back thanks to Hunter. It's 20-14 Bulldogs. Football presented by McDonald's. Our helmet cam is still down on the sidelines for the Bison. Good look there at 5th-year head coach Larry Scott. And his team has some work to do.
I was wondering how he didn't have a cam.
They revealed the secret now. So 2nd down, it's Jayshon Scroggins looking. Hunter spins, tries to make a man miss, and Dollard again on the stop. Well, running the football has been a thing that you've talked about, Jay, and it was a matchup where we felt like was advantage Howard because of how well they've done this season, but now they continue to put the ball in the hands of Jayshon Scroggins. An obvious passing situation here.
Against a quarterback, you're putting the ball in his hands who hasn't seen things well at times. A couple big plays, but outside of that has not been able to consistently pick apart the South Carolina State defense.
And lets it fly and finds his man. That's Isaiah Williams. Williams, who had a touchdown back in the first half, pickup of 16. And saw that in for a first down.
Once again, throwing that out route, which is a dangerous route, but if you can pre-snap read the defensive coverage and know that that guy's got to be wide open. Good execution by Scroggins.
And then with a little tempo, play action pass, going backwards with the defender, Jaden Broughton, in his face. Scroggins lets it go, and it's incomplete.
That's intentional grounding.
There's no foul for intentional grounding. Receiver 85 is in the area.
They say that the receiver was
in the area. Good call for them to recognize it right away because the ball did not get to the line of scrimmage outside of the pocket. Let's take a look. That's in the area? Okay. That's not in the area. We got away with one, but make it count.
Scroggins stepping up, has room along that left side, takes advantage of that real estate and skirts out of bounds just around the 50-yard line. 7-yard pickup, and I think he was aided by a nice block in the process. Let's look.
Yeah, we talk about being a complete running back. Jared Hunter trying to just throw him off on the blitz, creating a hole for Scroggins to escape from the pocket.
And the Bison hopeful here.
Give 80 the ball. That's Cyrus Wilson.
Well, he had that big catch down the seam back in the first quarter for 45 yards. And now, critical third down here for the Bison. He keeps going backwards to Scroggins. Penalty marker comes out. And the pass incomplete.
Penalty flag on the field.
Holding, thrown in that area where you call holding. He's looking over to the South Carolina State sideline.
Holding, offense number 77. The 10-yard penalty, replay third down.
So that's against Christian Forbes, so that backs him up. Another look here, number 77 in blue.
They normally a right tackle, backup right tackle, and that is a hold. Textbook definition of a hold.
Oh, big penalty there.
I think they're going to blitz him. In this situation now, they're going to try and blitz him to create a turnover, to force a turnover, see if they can force Scroggins to do something.
Held up well against the pressure, lets it fly, has a man pass incomplete on the outside to Casey Hawthorne. And Washington, who's been a playmaker in that secondary, is there step for step with him.
It's a good football play. I mean, Hawthorne can get by him, adjust. You think he's going to make the readjustment for the ball. And Washington able to turn around just in time to get a hand in there to distract Hawthorne from making the big play.
So the punting unit on, and Justin Smith-Brown now returning the kick after Caden High fumbled it. Smith-Brown, sure-handed, fair catch. And that'll bring up South Carolina State's offense when we come back to DC. Defeated in the SIAC the last 2 seasons, including 2 D2 playoff appearances as well. And he's got the secret sauce working in Orangeburg as his team, undefeated in MEAC, plays 6-2 overall and in the driver's seat in the conference.
Really turned it on and paid his dues. You know, with an assistant head coach and coordinator, a number of places as we see the passing game get going again.
Well, he's an offensive coordinator, to your point, at Southern University before he got the opportunity to be a head coach at Benedict. Also spent some time up here on the hilltop as well. And now taking over for Buddy Pugh, a legendary coach. And he is falling right in line with the success that we're used to seeing from South Carolina State. Just over 12 minutes to go. 1st and 10, and Eric Phoenix airs it out. One-on-one coverage, and that's Enosh Carter in stride, and the completion. I'll tell you this, Eric Phoenix has put the ball on the money more than a few times, and to Enosh Carter, greatly insane.
Look at this, it's a foot race. He gets by him, and ball's right there. Great timing. You can tell they've practiced those go routes, and when you have an accurate passer like Phoenix.
And nice play by Terrence Holland to drag down the ball carrier. Adams, loss of 1, as they were within the red zone, now on the 21-yard line.
This is the part where we've seen the offense slow down a little bit. We know the vertical passing game is there, but this intermediate, when they get backed up, they don't have the tallest receiver, of course, so they don't have that guy they can throw to for the jump ball.
You mean they don't have a Shaq Davis?
They don't have a Shaq Davis. Good one.
Looking, and
got him.
Sack. That's Noah Miles bringing down Phoenix. Noah Miles, who's waited his turn along that defensive line, and he's been a sack master this season.
Yeah, just winning that matchup, the motor to keep going, and not only did he get there, was able to make the takedown as well. Bison defense once again trying to show some fight. Bend but not break.
Well, a lot at stake for Howard as they're trying to keep their hopes alive in this MEAC race. On 3rd and a long way, coming across was Caden High, and not enough as he swung out of bounds by Hartley Jr.
And I think that was good pre-snap read. Hey, if they give us anything short, take it. Field goal now does wonders for South Carolina State, so they weren't even going to think about going for it on 4th down in this situation.
Well, a field goal here would make it a 3-possession game. And Kyle Gallegos on to attempt the 40-yarder. His longest of the season was 42. And this one from the right hash. It's up, and it is through. So much needed field goal to stretch out this lead for South Carolina State on the road.
Because especially when they earn it on and off the field. So this next gentleman I'm gonna bring up to you guys, man, I just want him to come up here and just hug me first, man, and we're gonna talk and we're gonna hug. Then we got a little special presentation for this gentleman. I want Aaron Bull Smith to come on up here, man. Let me hug up on my guy right here. All right, let's watch something, man. Let's check out a little presentation.
This year, Aaron Smith, you are invited to the East-West Shrine, man. Congrats to you. Keep balling. We can't wait to see you at the East-West Shrine.
What a moment for Mr. Homecoming, so well liked and received, working on his 2nd undergraduate degree, and one of 7 players selected from HBCUs to participate in the East-West Shrine game.
Absolutely, what a moment that was for him. And you know, that's kind of Chennis Berry. You know, he said, I'm tough on my guys, but I'm going to love them up when it's time to love them up. And that's remarkably what it takes to be a good coach. And he reacts, and talk about a Mr. South Carolina State.
Yeah.
I mean, he's everything. As they call him, you call him Mr. Homecoming.
Yeah, he was Mr. Homecoming. He won, you know, the homecoming court. But that's what's the beauty of it. And to use a Chennis Berry-ism, right? Family. Forget about me. I love you. And the way that he's loved up on these players and found a way for them to bought in his first season with the program speaks volumes as Williams tries to bring it out. Ball comes loose. It's recovered by South Carolina State.
Oh, no. Now, that whistle was premature, and the line judge is coming in, giving it to South Carolina State. I don't know if they recovered that fumble. That's
Joel Kashilla was the one who came up with it, and then when he goes down the ground, the ball pops out again. We got to take another look at it.
You have to recover the fumble. I mean, Williams goes airborne to something he should never
There's
do.
a fumble recovered by the kicking team.
Look, he doesn't have possession of that. Why would you blow that whistle?
And it was Cyrus Wilson who came up with the football, actually. But it was after it was. Yeah, he didn't have full possession of it. No.
But then, the question is almost, what could happen in that case? Yeah, it's going to be overturned, but you just kind of wonder why that action. Why, that would be the case there. Just a quick whistle. But I think we saw nothing that said they had possession.
Right.
At all. That wasn't even close.
No. In real time, it looked like it could have been, and I think they were thinking he was being ruled down because.
You like these officials. Those are your boys.
No, I'm just saying, I think the line judge whistled it, but it was his back. The player's back was to him. And then the ball popped out loose, and really it was Cyrus Wilson who recovered it. So it should be Howard football.
It should be Howard ball, but I'm just going back to you coming in and you make that call and you're not sure. You couldn't have been sure. We've seen a lot of fumble recoveries, and that's why you see those. I mean, what if it had been a super score and you'd have taken that off the board? I mean, I think there was no point I ever thought this ball was recovered. No, I couldn't. But here's a good thing about replay. They'll get it right now. They will correct it. That's what it's all about.
So Josh Shaw was the one who popped the ball loose on the hit. And then ultimately, yes, Jay, I do believe that Howard will get the football back. Or should get the football back.
Like I said, we always say, I just like him to get it right. Threw it all there. And officials make mistakes. And they tell me, as they always remind me, I make a lot of mistakes up here too. The officials do. But yes, Howard fortunate. I think they will be fortunate to get this recovery. Get the ball back with another chance, but still a tough task at hand with less than 10 minutes to go in this game and down by, as you said, 3 possessions now needed.
And Larry Scott needs his team to dig deep.
After review, the road on the field has been changed. The number 80 of Howard recovered the ball on the 20-yard line. It was never possessed by the South Carolina State. First and 10, Howard.
So it played out like we thought it would, Jay. But this is the time where Howard sees their backs against the wall. Their season on the line in the sense of, can they defend their crown? They've got a lot of work to do. 9 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. And Jay-Sean Scroggins, who has shown moments where he can lead this team down the field, hands it off to Eden James, and Eden James with a solid run on first down, and he's right there at the sticks, and it's going to be enough to move the chains. What you've harped on all game long, Jay.
Playmakers. Get the ball to your playmaker. That's only the fourth rushing attempt for Eden James today. He's a difference maker. But this is normally the time that Howard Bison, when they show up, backs against the wall, they realize what's at stake. They know their season's riding on this. They'll come back and fight you. Is there going to be enough fight? Do they have enough time to show that fight? But I fully expect the Bison to make this some type of game.
Well, this is a group that has a lot of belief in themselves right now. You see big number 11 in white, Aaron Smith, trying to slow him down. Scroggins looking, had a man, and Mosley couldn't pull it in.
You have to have this. This is like a perfectly called play. Right? They have a cornerback blitz coming. Watch James come up there and pick up the cornerback. So when Jared Washington's coming in the backfield, somebody's going to be wide open deep in the secondary. Crossing route there. Dropped it. Could have been thrown better, yes, but should it have been caught? Absolutely. Missed opportunity for a big play.
Now a big third down here As Scroggins trying to keep it alive, but instead you see Josh Barker, who has been disruptive on the interior, and it's 4th down.
But another blitz dialed up by O'Daffer. See number 2 coming, Diego Addison. That's a free safety coming on a free safety blitz, trying to make Scroggins do something that he's not comfortable doing, trying to force a turnover of some sort.
Big number 0, sophomore out of Kennesaw, Georgia, Josh Barker. Here on 4th down. Not a lot of time remaining, 7:38 to go. You got to get something. And a tackle made ahead of the chains. And what a stop by Diego Addison. You just called his name for the last play. And right there, forcing a turnover on downs. So the defense holding tight and halting the Bison.
College football is presented by McDonald's.
It's not just pour some sugar on them funnel cakes, but it's also giving those toppings, the strawberry toppings as well. And cap it off, that whipped cream, baby.
Like that?
I mean, I don't do whipped cream, but I can do the powdered sugar and strawberries.
Cakes,
really?
Yeah, especially not the powdered sugar. I would do a funnel cake with some, with some strawberries.
Most things are good fried, like just anything. That's Tyler Smith, and Smith on the carry on 1st down, tackled by Carson Hinton. Tyler Smith, the 3rd running back we've seen tonight, junior out of Gaffney, South Carolina. So after that 1st down run, South Carolina State going to take their time. The 3-score advantage. Eric Phoenix has a man into the end zone. That's Caden High. We talked about how special this young man is.
Both of them, Phoenix and High.
2 Player of the Year candidates for Jay out of the MEAC. And 28 yards later, Caden High has another touchdown.
And Phoenix really in control of this offense because the crossing route, Tony was open right away. But he said, oh, I've got time. I've got a touchdown waiting for me down there by the way of Caden High. 2-level throw. Took the deep shot, rewarded with a touchdown. The Bulldogs getting that much closer to trying to submit their case for going to the Cricket Celebration Bowl in Atlanta. You see right there, he's going to throw it to Tony. No, why throw to Tony when I've got Caden High right behind him in the secondary for the bigger play? And Hyde's a playmaker. It was just a matter of time before he made a big impact in this game.
Tony, High, along with Carter, all touchdown recipients from Eric Phoenix, who's thrown 16 of 25, 272 yards. And you see just that special unit of wide receivers for the Bulldogs.
Can I brag?
Wait, it's because you got this suit on. You know, America saw you at the start of the game, but they don't know how fly you've been. So you can brag too, because you feeling yourself.
I want to brag about my football IQ. I told you at halftime he was going to hit his number. Right? His number, 272, 282 yards. He had 135. He's going to hit his number. He hit his number. Why does Howard only have 14 points? Did they hit their rushing number? No support number. So they missed their number. South Carolina State got their number. That's the story of this game.
They've had their number in this series historically, as bobbling the ball and bringing it out as Williams gets past about the 15-yard line. Jonathan Williams, new smile, because he just knows how Caden High has lifted this group.
And this should be something for college coaches out there. How is it that Caden High went to a Division II school, Benedict? Eric Phoenix, Division II school, Benedict. All these guys, Division II, they're showing you they're more than capable of playing Division I football, FCS football, some of them FBS. So a good job by the scouting and the coaching staff for Chennis Berry. He didn't come over by himself. He's brought his crew with him, and right now the Bulldogs are rolling.
That pass complete from Scroggins, but I'm going to go back to your point just about Chennis Berry brought over a number of coaches as well. Jordan O'Daffy, defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator, Jonathan Williams, in addition to the players, but also he's found a way to recruit on a gas tank, and that's how he's also found success, which is much like his predecessor in Buddy Pugh. I mean, he found a way to recruit the state of South Carolina and surrounding areas.
Buddy was responsible for bringing Chennis Berry to Orangeburg, and boy, is that a great decision.
And it feels like, especially in this second half, that the defensive line has just lived in the backfield and has just gotten all types of pressure on the quarterback that they've wanted here in this game.
South Carolina State's always going to have that dude on defense, on the defensive line in particular. They keep guys down there.
That was Kayvon Chisholm who had the sack. Meanwhile, the injured player for Howard, the right guard, Samuel Hill. Grabbing in that lower leg area. And so Hill in some pain. And he's being helped up off the field. So the graduate out of Waynesboro, Georgia, came over from Florida Atlantic. The big 6'3" offensive lineman, not able to put any pressure on that right leg as he's being helped to the sideline.
Tough sight there. It's one of those things when you play South Carolina State, the game's going to get physical. The coach here, Coach Dean, used to always say physical with an F. It's going to get physical, and that has not changed with the boys from Orangeburg.
And really, the offensive line coming into today's game had done a great job of protecting the quarterback. They had only allowed 16 sacks. However, South Carolina State has been able to get to the quarterback and just in the backfield in general. 6 sacks and a dozen tackles for loss in this game. Well, another break on the ball from Broughton. Remember, Washington, rather, he had that pick 6 earlier, and getting some love from the coaches on the sideline because he read that one well.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good one. He's another one of those guys. He was playing at Benedict. You're talking about a 6'2" cornerback with great hips. And look at the turn. Not afraid to break on the ball, extend out. He's one of those guys, if he can run well enough, he can get a shot at the next level.
Several players for South Carolina State, NFL prospects, as Justin Smith-Brown sees this skying punt. He loses the handle and falls back and recovers the ball.
I'll tell you a little story.
Story time with Jay Walker.
You got to have wide receivers, right? And so you can put up numbers against everybody else, but when you've got wide receivers, that's when you know you're rolling, right? So I always go back to, when did I know I was rolling as a quarterback? My 2 best victories, we beat FAMU with my group, and then we beat South Carolina State here at home. And when I left the game, and South Carolina State folks still can't believe it to this day. They're like, yeah. All right, Jay, you and your boys were good. A couple of the coaches are on staff there. When I left the game, in the fourth quarter, 4 minutes ago. You know what the score was?
What was the score, Jay?
Howard University 30, South Carolina State. That's how good we were. 30-0 when we left the game, and that's when you have the dominance. And what I'm seeing from South Carolina State now is like they're starting to dominate. You know, they're taking on all comers. Coach Barry has the right mentality, 1-0, and in the MEAC you have to go 1-0 every week. It's a 1-0 every week conference. You know, I think they really just got one tough challenge ahead, which is going to be that Morgan State game next week.
Yeah, I mean, an all-important game at Morgan State. They clinch next week. They win.
Yeah. And, you know, and that's going to be, that probably will be their toughest defensive challenge. Because Morgan State has one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the conference. And Morgan State will be playing for something too, because if Morgan can beat them, then they could clinch a share of the championship as well.
Good play in the backfield, as that was Kenny Gallup Jr. So they can clinch next weekend. South Carolina State coming back up this way, going over to Baltimore against Morgan State before finishing at home against Norfolk State. And Chinnis Berry, who such an energetic guy, who just brings the motivation always. We asked him, hey, you know, do you really remember these victories? Do you take them to heart? Do you enjoy them at all? When you took down the preseason favorite last week, it was just like, nah. When I got home, I was immediately thinking about North Carolina, or rather Howard, after beating North Carolina Central. And I don't know how much he will think about this one, but the defending MEAC champions, he's come into their house and has dominated. Update on scores today, and there's still so many more. That was a triple. Yeah. Florida A&M out of contention now for the SWAC East Division, along with Alabama State, both of them losing today. And of course, you mentioned Morgan State.
Wow, I'm surprised they gave up 28 points. But one thing Delaware State can do, because of their coach Lee Hull, who's an offensive guy, they can score on you sometimes. So a couple things to go wrong there. But
and his homecoming back to Morgan State, who he helped to lead to a MEAC championship. A new quarterback in now, Jalen Tolbert, who has played some this season when Scroggins went down. Going to delay a game as Tolbert can't even take his first snap.
Talk to Tolbert. Played in some games. Been here for a while, obviously behind Clint Williams for so many years, but capable backup, 60% pass run the year. Like most of these quarterbacks, can hurt you with his legs as well.
He pushes it out there and has a man, and Mosley is able to haul it in. Keontae Mosley with a great grab there, 31 yards.
Look at that. Nothing like when a backup quarterback comes in the game and completes a pass. Yeah, you should have had me in here a long time ago. Let's go. Let's go. Well, good job. A little wheel route. They really do like this freshman tight end, Mosley. Able to adjust.
Actually from the state of South Carolina. Picks it up off the ground. Tolbert airing it out once again. And this time it's intercepted. So the interception brought in by Jalen Levine. They tried to go deep again. This time it was picked off.
And I was going to say it was a sign of respect by both teams, because they had a number of backups playing defense. So you see South Carolina State has the backups in there. He thought he was throwing a good pass, but it's a good job of going to get the ball. And I know Tolbert, the quarterback's like, if I take the chance of giving you the ball, the go route, last thing you can do is let him intercept the pass.
Fourth interception of the game. for South Carolina State's defense.
This is an official timeout.
So a timeout taken on the field momentarily. And Jay, if you can point to any holes or weaknesses for South Carolina State that you have seen thus far, are there any?
I'm scratching. I'm scratching my head. The running game.
5-yard penalty. Still first down.
If they could run the ball a little bit better, that would help. But they don't want to run the ball. So that's nitpicking because they want to throw the ball and throw for almost 300 yards a game, and they've shown the ability to do that. As well as the key things, they can protect their quarterback. He doesn't get hit. For the most part, Phoenix does not get hit.
There's a new quarterback in. Brian Stubblefield replaces Phoenix as Tyler Smith on the carry. So the backup's in now for South Carolina State. And I'll say this. This is a group that was unsure, or the voters were unsure. Hey, how would this team come in? They were selected to finish 4th in the conference, and they're just under 3 minutes away from remaining perfect in the MEAC as a timeout is taken by South Carolina State. And they've been able to win the games that they've needed, and impressively. It's always a tough game against the Citadel. They were able to pull it out 23-20. They won the border matchup between North Carolina A&T. Then that kicked off a 5-game winning streak, which will extend to 6 when this one is over.
Let's just revisit the power rankings again. And I got it right, Tim. Give your partner credit. Come on.
Yeah,
I got it right.
Yeah.
They're the best team I've seen.
Fist bump.
They're the best team I've seen this year, I think. And they moved up. Jackson State, still a strong number 2. And I'm still saying Central strong at 3. Central strong at 3. Florida A&M.
They're going to drop out the rankings with that loss.
And we saw the warning signs coming. We saw them, and then Southern University had to win in overtime, their 3rd overtime victory of the season against Bethune-Cookman. I'm giving Southern that notice like I'm giving Fam. Like, I'm giving you top 5 because you're winning, but no style points.
Hey, Terrence Graves doing what he needs to. But, I mean, let's talk about the success of Graves, a first-year head coach, along with Chinnis Berry, who's in that number as well. He's got his team right where he wants them to be. And a chance to make a huge statement to the HBCU football world. Again, you still have to go on the road next weekend to Morgan State, and once more you've got to finish off a very tough Norfolk State team, but they have taken care of business here with a 2-minute timeout from Washington, D.C. Bulldogs up 38-14. It's going to get interesting in the last few weeks. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely, and I need somebody to prove to me that Indiana's not for real.
Oh, Indiana's for real. I mean, Kurt Cignetti has them within their first ever 10-win season. You got to think about how, Miami was knocked off today. Oregon has the best CFP chances to make it.
And then there was a particular member of our crew. He'll go nameless, Allen. When I mentioned Alabama was going to have something to do with the playoff. They're going to have something to do with it. They're going to beat somebody and they may get in there, and then lo and behold, what happens? They come out and their committee did my work for me. Put them in there early without the key wins that they needed.
And they're at LSU tonight too. Oh yeah. Woo-wee. Game day was in Baton Rouge earlier. Death Valley at night. Never an easy spot to play. And even Boise State was in the top 12.
Rightfully so.
Okay.
Rightfully so. Now, if you expand it, if you're going to expand the playoff, though, expand. So don't have a team like Army go undefeated and not give them a pass here. Somewhere, somehow, undefeated's undefeated. So for years, we used to always say, oh, how about the undefeated teams? Oh, they ain't playing about, well, you went from 4 to 12. I don't want that excuse. If a team goes undefeated, I think you have to have a good reason to keep them out. Think Florida State. Right? Not this year's Florida State, because this year's Florida State team was bad. But a year ago, Florida State was undefeated and was left out.
Meanwhile, South Carolina State has come on the road in impressive fashion and knocked off the defending MEAC champions. And now Chinnisberry and his group out of Orangeburg, one game closer to clinching a share of that MEAC title.
And he has to really take pride in this, because we talked about the long road travel. Let's not forget, he coached here at Howard University as an assistant coach before he went down to the Southern to become another assistant coach. And to come here to a school you coach as an assistant and get a victory as a head coach, congratulations, Coach Berry. But you just want to know, man. You only want to know. You got to have one more big 1-0 week for the Bulldogs.
An impressive victory it was. How about the defense lighting it up? Not only big hits, but also forcing turnovers. 4 picks, including 1 return for a touchdown to complement the offense ran by Eric Phoenix. Your final thoughts on the Bulldogs as they track this way again over to Baltimore next weekend against Morgan State?
Really good football team. They deserve the #1 ranking that I've given them, and they got the turnovers that they wanted. That's how you know a coach is in tune when he said, we didn't force enough turnovers a week ago. Well, they corrected that tonight. The way the offense is flowing, they believe in something, and something special brewing down in Orangeburg. But what a battle it'll be next week as they go up to Morgan State and try and clinch another berth in the Celebration Bowl.
Got to pay the fee. That's what he talked about. Chinnisberry. Got to pay the fee. It costs to be a champion. Who's willing to pay the fee? Well, thus far, his Bulldogs have all bought in to doing so. They were focused, they brought effort, and they executed here tonight. Moved to 3-0, unblemished in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, and once more remaining in sole possession of first place and the driver's seat on their road to Atlanta. Eric Phoenix did his job tonight. One of the front runners for the MEAC Offensive Player of the Year. He got him going, some big hits back and forth, but ultimately it was South Carolina State coming on the road and owning the Bison at home with a 38-14 decision. For our great crew, Jay Walker, Tiffany Green, saying, we out.